Hello and welcome to this week's edition of LCAT News. I'm your host, Jen Carlos. At Tuesday's meeting of the Town Council, Denise Menard opened her Town Manager's report with something of a surprise announcement.
Is that it's official. East Long Meadow's been named the 2019 Best Town/City to Live in for the second year in a row.
The results of the Republicans' Reader Raves poll seem to be official and not a complete surprise.
I'm sure we'll get some kind of official notice, but I didn't hesitate to let everybody know now because some of you were in an official picture, correct?
Yes.
Last Wednesday, some members of the Town Council as well as the school committee joined ELHS fall season athletes at the stadium to celebrate the accomplishment. The Republicans' photographer was there to take the official picture for the 2019 supplement, which is due to be published sometime next week. The poll, sponsored by the Springfield Republican, invites readers to vote during August each year for favorites among dozens of categories. East Long Meadow was chosen last year as the best city or town to live in among Mass Live readers. Menard also noted that 2 construction projects in town will impact traffic in the coming weeks.
Our phones are going off because we're receiving notice that something about the Maple Street October 1st, Maple Street will be closed to through traffic from Westwood Avenue to Dwight until Friday, October 5th. So that's hot off the press. My phone's gone off twice now with that.
Traffic will be detoured from Maple Street westbound via Fairhaven Street to Marshall and then Chestnut. Maple Street will be closed for the entire week.
For those who have not been on Elm Street in the last few days, the sidewalk project's begun, and it's expected to be completed in about 4 weeks.
After many years of discussion and persistent effort to access state funding for the project, the DPW finally moved forward with supporting the plan through the town's capital budget. Due to the complexity and time window for completion, the work was put out to bid. The Health Department presented a summary of its efforts over the summer to educate residents about the ongoing problems with the town's trash program. The council recognized Birchland Park student Beckett Vigno for his work as an intern.
Be it hereby known to all that the town of East Long Meadow offers its sincere appreciation to Beckett Vigno for his hard work and dedication as an intern with the East Long Meadows Health Department and Recycling Program, dated the 25th of September, 2018. Congratulations. Great job. Nice to see emerging leaders in the community.
Thanks, Beckett. Nice seeing you again.
Back to the photo.
Good job, Beckett. Health Director Amy Petrosky says that by the end of October, Republic has been instructed to leave any trash that does not meet the requirements that have been long established under the hauling contract.
After this mailer goes out, we will not be collecting trash that does not meet our town standards. And so we do expect there to be
some pushback
on that. So we wanted to, before we make any movement like that, we wanted to come and make sure to talk to the council to get your feedback so we can all make sure we're on the same page before we move something that large.
I understand what you're doing. I think it's necessary from the information you've provided. The only concern that I have is leaving trash unattended on the roadside. There are many people who don't follow the regulations that are in place today.
Right.
If Republic does not pick it up and it stays, it will be destroyed either through vehicle traffic or through animals.
Right.
And then we're going to have a mess in our roadways.
Yeah.
Is there a next step? Education is great. I think we need to educate, inform, and then, if necessary, fall to fines and fees.
Well, we had about 2 months this winter where Friday pickup was not collected for about 2 months, and we didn't have any major issues like that. So at least from the history perspective, we didn't have any major catastrophes. People were not happy, clearly, because their trash was left behind, but it wasn't, trash in the roadways that we were alerted to. But the town does have a public nuisance bylaw that if there's trash and it becomes a nuisance, then we, on my end of things, can go and take care of that on that end, which includes a variety of different enforcement mechanisms.
The council also voted on Tuesday to refer to the planning board a petition submitted by developers to create a mixed-use zone on the 40-acre site of the old package machinery building on Chestnut Street. Earlier this year, developers withdrew from discussions with the town about a new mixed-use zone and the requirements relative to a large commercial and residential development for the site.
I represent M&A Long Meadow LLC, owners of 330 Chestnut Street in East Long Meadow. We have, come back for another hopeful mixed-use proposal from the town. We've had conversations with the town planner, and we think that she's ready, to start kind of taking this on, and she's gotten her bearings. And so we would like to petition the town to have the town come up with and draft a new mixed-use proposal for consideration. So we're asking that the council today refer our petition for that request for the mixed use to go to the planning board.
And finally, Town Manager Menard noted that over 750 pounds of vegetables grown at the East Long Meadow Community Gardens was donated over the growing season to the Council on Aging.
Guess there is a gentleman there that plants a lot just for the community gardens, and that's a very generous thing for him to be doing.
The Planning Board also met on Tuesday with a long agenda of site plan waivers and public hearings. The owners of a parcel on the corner of Shaker Road and Chestnut Street, who had hoped to build a small commercial retail building at the site, have withdrawn a request to adjust the zone line on that parcel to align with the property boundary.
There's a request for a zoning amendment at the corner of Chestnut and Shaker. And this is, want to read that?
Sure. This is addressed to the planning board and president of town council. On behalf of the applicant, John and Stephen Davis, we are herein requesting to withdraw the above referenced zoning request for zoning amendment without prejudice. Should you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact our office at your convenience. And the letter was signed and dated August 31st, 2018 by the Levesque Associates, which is the engineer.
So we need to vote on this request. Do I have a motion to accept, to allow them to withdraw without prejudice?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so what this means is that they're withdrawing their request for extending the commercial zone, but without prejudice, which means that at some point in the future they can come back and propose something, the same thing or something similar to it if they want to. But for the time being, they're pulling it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
A 7-home subdivision on Maple Street that's been the subject of repeated meetings over the past few months was on the agenda again Tuesday. Abutters have said at earlier meetings that they were told years ago that there was insufficient frontage on Maple Street for a subdivision. Chairman George Kingston addressed those claims again on Tuesday.
And we hear this a lot, that somebody
Yeah.
says a piece of land can't be built on. But until somebody actually proposes something,
Yeah.
okay, there's no such thing as an unbuildable lot. We have to, somebody's got to, either us or conservation has to look at it and determine whether or not what's being proposed, in fact, meets the zoning regulations of the town.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and if it meets it, then whoever said that it was unbuildable didn't know what they were talking about.
The project received a 4-0 vote in favor of approving the preliminary site plan. Here's what's happening at the library this upcoming week. On Saturday, October 6th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. is Paint Sip Fun for tweens and teens. All painting supplies provided. Registration is required. Call the library's circulation desk at 413-525-5400, extension 1511. On Tuesday, October 9th, from 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. is Funny Bones. Join Miss Darcy for a fun-filled book group, including trivia, games, crafts, and a special snack. Read Pug Pals, Two's a Crowd prior to the meeting. Please register in advance. Finally, also on Tuesday, October 9th, from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. is a Pajama Night story time. Children ages 3 to 6 will love this story time filled with great books and a craft. Remember to wear your PJs. That's it for this week's edition of LCAT News. I'm your host, Jen Carlos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.